Okay, welcome all to podcast 149 of the Self-Publishing Roundtable. I am your moderator, Finnegan, and no, I am not. I am Eric Conroy because Wade is having mojitos. My co-panelist tonight is the lovely and wonderful Krishawn Callahanna. Hi.
Hello, all. Hello. I am not Wade either, and I'm not in Vegas or playing hockey.
What happens
Bastard.
in Vegas stays in Vegas.
It's up when you tell me.
Mhm. And our special guest for this episode is romance author Chance Carter. Welcome along, Chance.
Thank you.
Just quickly, to everyone watching us live on selfpublishingroundtable.com, we encourage you to leave questions and comments, and we will make our best efforts to get them into the conversation. And we will be asking boxes or briefs, so don't worry. That was the first question I was asked to ask him, so we might as well start with that one then.
Well, you're making a lot of assumptions there.
We're either. But boxes or briefs there, Chance?
Either. Both.
Either? Whatever's clean?
Yeah.
Laundry
Usually-
determines that.
Yeah. I go through phases.
Oh, fair enough.
Everyone showed up then.
Okay, so we should probably be a bit more serious and get on topic here. But that was a very important question, from what I understand. So, can you just give us a little bit of a background on you, Chance? Where you come from and what kind of writing you've done prior to publishing as Chance Carter?
Well, prior to this, I had I had lots of other pen names, and pretty much everything that was successful was romance or erotica based. But I've tried other things, westerns and paranormal and things I haven't published too. But this isn't my first try at a romance or at trying to make something that sells.
All right, then let's build a timeline. How long have you been writing?
10 years, and the first thing I published, I think, was around the end of 2012 on KDP. And before that, I went through the trying to send things to agents and go that route. And and then Chance Carter started in October 2015 was the first book, and I started writing it a few months before that.
Okay.
So why did you choose to write Bad Boys and Babies?
I like to write something that there's going to be a readership for, so Bad Boys and Babies seems to be something that there was an audience for.
It just seems a bit odd. I mean, because you're probably the only male romance author that I've talked to. That's got to be weird, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
writing
well,
something like Bad Boys and Babies.
yeah, it doesn't seem weird to me. I've been active in some of the big forums that romance and erotica writers congregate in, and I've had other names that were trying to break into different genres, and every time
Wow.
there's a reason every time. It's just something to try. Like if it didn't work, I'd already be trying something else, just as weird.
Right. So is writing romance and erotica the result of you trying to find a market where you could excel, or were you a fan of them before?
No, it's me trying to find a market where I can excel.
Mhm. All right, then in what tools do you, okay, westerns, paranormal, all of these things, what is it about the romance genre that you just simply have the tools to, well, the skills to pay the bills? What is it about romance and erotica in your view that makes you think, or that you've proven that you can be successful in it? What do you think it is?
Um, I don't know. Like it's hard to judge your own books. I mean, you write the best book you can, and you see what happens, see how the reviews come in, see how the sales come in, and you know, I've written things that didn't sell well. I've written things that made more money than this.
Really?
You know, sometimes I don't know. I don't know.
Are you still writing in the areas that made more money?
Nope. I'm just writing on this at the moment.
And what would you say? Is it because they just didn't interest you, or?
Um, I like to start I like to start new things.
Hmm.
You know, like get a fresh start. Sometimes you look on your Amazon page, at the page for an author, for a pen name you've been working on, and you get a feeling if it's peaked or if it looks messy, or if you think I can do better than this if I start fresh,
Hmm.
or what I'm going to do next is going to be bigger than this, and I'm going to do it right this time, and yeah, I like to start fresh.
Right.
And yeah, that means that you got to burn through the names as you go.
Right. Do you communicate with your fans often?
Yeah, I do all day, every day.
And what have they told you? What have they told you that they absolutely love about your romance and erotica?
They love everything. They love like the kind of the persona I present to them, the interaction I give them, and the books. Yeah, I'm trying to give them what they like. So
And
I
what
mean,
what do they like? I mean,
well, it's $1 million question.
Yes, which is why we're asking it. We're expensive girls.
Yeah. Well, I think as girls, you probably would know better than me. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. You're always guessing. The romance market is probably harder than others to kind of guess what people like because it's not just the plot. I mean, like if you try to write sci-fi, or like if you've watched Battlestar Galactica, you can write something like that. You know what it is.
Hmm.
With romance, it's harder to know exactly like what is it that they love about this genre, or bad boys are so hot right now. What do they love? It's hard to know. Like, is it that they're bad, or is it that they seem bad but they're actually good? Uh, you know, is it that they ride motorcycles? Is it that they have tattoos, or is it something else? I don't know. You throw it all in there and you see what you get. But I mean, not every single one of my books does as well as the one before it. And I mean, if I knew what it was that made the difference, I'd change it.
Is this is your full-time gig? You do this full-time, correct?
Correct.
All right, then let's walk through a little bit of craft here. How many books do you publish in a year? Just give me a rough number.
4 to 6.
Hmm.
I'll get that up.
Okay. There's no pressure here. There's no
Yeah.
judgment. Um,
Every
no,
year,
seriously.
I have the goal to publish 12, and I've never made it yet.
Oh wow, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And so, 4 to 6 books a year. So that seems like a 3 month cycle. So how does your day-to-day writing schedule look like?
It varies. Sometimes it's great, and I can get 5 to 10,000 words out, and sometimes I take 2 months off to fiddle with my website, or create the world's best autoresponder or something. Like, or go on
Uh-huh.
vacation, get married. Uh,
Oh,
you
you
know,
got married?
I got married about a year ago.
Oh wow.
Uh, things like that.
Is she a fan?
Just like life. Yeah.
Is she a fan?
She's a fan of me. My biggest fan.
So does she beta
So,
read for you, or?
no, she doesn't. She's busy.
Mhm.
She has her own business, and that keeps her pretty busy. She keeps an eye on certain things. When if something's exciting is going on, she keeps an eye on it. But she's not wrapped up in my books.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
That is a very good thing. It's good to have someone that's like, yeah, baby, and then they walk off and let you do your thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So going back to your workflow, um, back to the boxers, a brief question: pantser or outliner?
Outliner, definitely.
Outliner. Oh, do you have the beat sheets and everything? You know what every
Yep.
character is going to do?
Yeah, I've got. I try like my books are 70,000 words, and I try to have 70 little of those Scrivener note cards on the cork board before I start writing anything. So 70 scenes.
Do they stay the scenes, or do your characters walk off or change sexes and
Yeah, they
start
change
doing
as I
weird
go.
things?
Yeah, they
All right,
change.
then. What was the weirdest thing that's happened? What is the weirdest change your character just went? Poof! I'm doing this. And you're like,
Everything. I, I mean, so one of my books, it was two different books I was working on, and I just made them into one book. All you got to do is change a couple of names, and the scenes for one book work in the other book.
uh huh.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, anything like that.
All right, then. We have our first question from Carrie Ann McKenna. Like, can you describe your bad boys? We're going to want to have a little bit of background, no spoilers, names, and what makes each one of those individual boys bad.
Uh, you said you wanted spoilers, or you
No, no,
didn't?
no, no spoilers. It's your money, baby. I'm not taking away your money. Just tell me some background.
They're just hot guys. Like it's the hottest guy I can imagine as a guy, which might lead me astray sometimes. But pretty much like the models on the covers, the
Uh-huh.
tattoos. I mean, if the model doesn't have tattoos, someone has to put them in with Photoshop. Um, I'll give him a motorcycle in the book, and then apart from that, they're not really that bad. They're nice. They're good guys, but they have tattoos and big muscles.
So
Super
bad boys
star.
equals big guys with muscles. Actually, beefcakes and beef buses with muscles and tattoos.
Yeah, and so like, the guys always end up not being as bad as I intended, but it works. I don't think they need to be that bad. Uh, yeah, they're more like they've overcome something hard in their life, but they're nice guys.
So
What about
did your audience for your romance, and then this is a question from Cam Miller X. Um, how did you build your audience? Did your audience come from other books, or is this from scratch?
From mostly from scratch for this name, but like I'll get all my other. I mean, like any other pen name I have that has a list, I'll get that pen name to send out a recommendation, but that usually it doesn't do that much. I mean,
Mhm.
I didn't have a similar name to this one that was like really on the same market, so you got people coming over from others, but yeah, the first book under this name did super well, and it sort of just built an audience from there. I had like I don't know. By the time that whole launch was over, I had a few thousand fans on Facebook, and it was enough to start, you know, doing all the audience things you can do with people on
Nice.
what
Facebook.
what audience things that you do specifically to
Uh,
to keep them
well,
engaged?
um, well, I post a lot every day. I try to post every hour.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the easiest thing. I mean, there's nothing easier than putting up a post on Facebook. It takes 2 seconds.
Hmm.
It's free. Um, you can do that. There's no limit on how many times you can do it. I like I, I mean, I know why people don't do it more. I mean, I've gone through phases where I don't post much on Facebook, but I mean, that's the easiest place to start. Just post.
Hmm.
Facebook's my favorite platform, and yeah, I mean, everything they say everything's pay to play on Facebook, but you can post for free all day, every day if you want to. If you really
What's
want
your
to talk to people,
hmm
go ahead.
so what was your favorite? Sorry, what are the components of the post? Just hey, I'm Chance, I write stuff, here is a link, or do you describe your characters, or what does that interaction look like?
Um, if you post every hour that you're awake, you'll go through everything and post pictures of hot guys, pictures of myself, pictures of my books, pictures of other people's books, memes, videos, songs, everything. And then like after a while, you get a feel for what they like and what they're not interested in, and you post more of what they like and less of what they don't like. And pretty soon you got all memes and hot guys. And that's what I post. Yeah, I don't post songs anymore. I don't post literary quotes anymore. I don't post too many videos. You know.
Unless they're hot guys.
Yeah. But Facebook has like copyright issues with videos, but they don't with pictures. So yeah, I post pictures.
Because everyone likes hot guys with tattoos.
Yeah, they do. And they like quotes and things. Yeah.
So what
Or
kind
like,
of what number of likes and replies do you think you see on average for your Facebook posts?
thousands. I think I have like I'll hit 70,000 likes soon, and I get every week I get over 100,000 engagements, and between over 1 million views or reach. Like who I don't know what the stats really translate to in practice, but Facebook gives you stats. I look at them. I want them all to go up every week.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So do I.
Like my wife makes fun of me because I have like these graphs and they're basically just lines going up, and I'm like, this is what I want to do with Facebook. It's like, let me guess, you want it to go up, like. Yeah.
Who would want it to go down?
Yeah, I don't want it to go down. I want it to go up. If they give me a metric, I want it to go up. I want more likes, more shares, more comments.
And your fans love you, don't they? I mean, do any of them send you anything? Like do you receive gifts or anything like that?
One or two, not much.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Canada, and the shipping's more.
Are you? I'm sorry. Are you concerned about having so much of yourself out there?
No. If I could have 10 times more out, I would.
Huh? I think I've only been talking to you about 25 minutes, and I can see one of the biggest things I can tell you that one of the biggest keys to your success is that you are incredibly charming and open. Like I'm sitting up here like, yeah, okay. I will respond back. I want to see what kind of beefcakes is on his site. I can understand that. But
That's very
we are
nice.
going to get a thank you. We're going to get a story out of you yet. All right. So what I want is walk me through your launch. Give me the anatomy of your launch. You've released a book. You have the release date. How many days before that release do you start spreading the word? Who do you go to promote it? Or what kind, if you don't want to tell us specifically who you hired to promote it? How does that go the days until and then the days after a book is released with you?
Well, it might change, but so far what I do is once the book's ready, I don't announce. Like I always say, coming soon. I don't say when it's coming because I don't know exactly. I do most of the things myself. I got to format it. It takes ages. So like once the book's ready, I format the paperback. I put that up. Then I send it out to my list and I say, please review this book. I send them the book, and then I just start creating my Mobi and EPUB, whatever. And I put that up as soon as it's ready. And usually by then there's a lot of reviews on the paperback, and Amazon will bring them all over to the Kindle book. And then I like to have a lot of reviews before I do anything. So I mean, if there wasn't a lot of reviews on the paper book, I'd hold back on publishing the Kindle book. I wouldn't put up a Kindle book without some reviews on there because I don't want like only to have bad reviews. So,
Right.
you know,
No, that makes perfectly good
yeah,
sense.
I mean, like if you can control something, I'll try to control it. If you can have 10 reviews, I'll try to have 10. If I can have 20, I'll have 20. You know, like if you can have 20, you can have 30. If you can have 30, you can have 60. You know, why would you put it up with 30 if you could put it up with 60? You know, I like say, you know, if you can do 60, you can do 600. So then I'll try to get 600, and then you know, sooner or later you have to stop because you don't have any more people to ask. You know, and you know, 1 out of 10 people will leave a review. You know, so then, you know, now I'm still trying to come up with ways to get more reviews and to get a higher percentage of people to leave the review. But yeah, I mean, I've had books in the top 100 on other names that you know, making a ton of money, and then the whole thing gets destroyed because of reviews. So I try to like square that away. Like my books, I mean, they're filthy books. So there's also, you know, there's a lot of sex in there, and you know, if your book is in the top of Amazon, like if it's in the top 10, like my first Chance Carter book was #1 on Amazon. Like a lot of people who don't like sexy books are buying that book and leaving bad reviews for that book, and I have to insulate, you know, so I put a huge amount of work into reviews, and hardly any, you know, nobody I know is as concerned about the reviews as I am. It's a personality thing, I
Right.
think. But yeah, like my whole launch is like, once I've got all the reviews I think I can get, then I upload the Kindle book, and that's it.
And you get those reviews all from paperback reads.
Yeah, yeah. You know, they keep coming in. Like after I upload the Kindle book, and then, you know, they keep coming in, and you know, but yeah, like after a while you got to stop waiting and publish the book. But yeah, I mean, I get like a good cushion of paperback reviews before I do anything with my Kindle book, because no one's going to buy the paper book. So only, you know, when it's only the paper book there, it's all yours. It's on Amazon, and you control completely that product listing. No one's buying the book. The only people reading it are the people who already like you. Yeah. I don't like to leave it to chance.
This is
No.
genius. Just releasing the paperback first, and then getting reviews. Of course, you still have to have a good book for people to want to buy the paperback, but
Well, I mean, good. Like if your list likes it, it's good enough, you know.
Yes, exactly. If you're, that's all. That's the only measure you have.
meet a market, yes.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's talk about this for a second. So you actually have a paper book. You have your paperback out before you even do the ebook.
Yeah. The Kindle, the Create Space paperback. I start with Create Space.
Uh-huh. And is that why is that? I'm just gonna ask you, why is that? Is it why is that?
Because, well, no one buys the paperback.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just kind of, you can prepare. I mean, like once you hit publish on your Kindle book, you've got 30 days to make that book get high in the charts. You know, you've got a timer. You know, you got your 30 days or even your 15-day cliff or whatever. You know, whatever people say. You've got like, you're a new release for a short time on your Kindle book, but your paperback book, you can you have more time. You don't have
When
to
was the
put it in
first?
a Kindle book straight away.
When did you realize that?
2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Under a previous name.
Yeah. I mean, like everyone I was talking to at the time realized, you know, it wasn't my idea.
Mm.
Yeah, it was like someone from a forum told everyone, but I
And
paid
then,
attention.
right, and you paid attention, and you said, "Let's see if this works." And is this the plan? Is this a strategy you apply to Chance? This first series?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big thing. I mean, it's just you put up your CreateSpace version. It's there on Amazon, and people can leave reviews for it, and you can have a look, and when you feel ready, and that all looks good. I mean, if I got like a whole load of bad reviews on that, I could still, I could change my mind. I could take that down. I could change the title. You know, you could do anything you wanted. Like it's a paperback. No one ever looks at the paperbacks. Like, it's almost like a staging area, the paperback. You know, it's like people who make big websites. They don't just click go live. They put it up on a testing server and they make sure everything works, and then they go live. So I treat the paperback as a staging. I only go live with the Kindle book when I'm ready.
Yes, I work at a hosting company here in Austin, Texas, and yes, we offer staging sites because you don't want to go live quickly. You want to make sure everything, all the colors are running, all your plugins work, and everything, and then you go. Boop. That is intriguing. That is something that I have to investigate because.
If you want a staging area for your books, use the Create Space, the paperback.
And then order a few, and then do you order a few and then mail them out, or do you just give them a movie file?
No, then like, if you've got a mailing list. I mean, if you don't have a mailing list, there's no point. There's nothing to prepare. But if you have a list, then once you've got your paperback up there, then you can send your Mobi. You can email your Mobis, your PDFs, whatever, to your fans, or and then once they've all, whoever's on your ARC list, once they've sent their reviews. I mean, it's just between me and my list, me and my people.
And you send that information out and the Mobi copy out to everyone on your list. Is that right?
Yeah, everyone on my list gets free book because I have this review obsession.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not a bad thing. You make it sound like it's a problem. That's not a problem at all.
Sometimes I wonder, am I compensating for something? Trying to get, I've got over 1,000 reviews on that first book, and I'm still like, oh no, what if someone leaves a 1-star review? It's going to come down. The average comes, like, it doesn't take many 1 stars to bring down your average. Right. I don't like it. I don't like to sell something with it, less than optimal sales page, and less than 4 stars. It doesn't look as good to me.
Right. So with all of this and all this work going into it, do you use like a PA, a production assistant, or a virtual assistant? Writer really wants to know.
I've got people who work with me on everything. It varies from book to book, but like my sister-in-law helps me. My sister helps me. If they're not too busy.
Right. Do you self-edit or do you hire that out?
Both. Sometimes I self-edit and then I regret it. Like right now, I haven't published any book in 2 months because I spent the last 2 months getting some of my books re-edited by an editor, and then I'm redoing them with is it Vellum, the new thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
I'm redoing them with Vellum, making them look nicer, putting an author's note at the beginning, making my back matter more perfect. It's taking me a long time to do it. I could have put out a book in the time it's taking me to kind of redo the first 4, but yeah, I don't like. I mean, if you can see in the reviews that you've got a problem with the book, then I'll send it to an editor and say, read all these 1-star reviews, edit that away, and send it back to me. Even though it's too late. Yeah, it's too late now, but I mean, just the punishment of doing the boring work of re-editing should teach me a lesson for the next book. Maybe.
You hope, perhaps.
And do you do any other promo other than sending it to your list?
Yeah, I do everything I can. If there's newsletters, submit to BookBub, run Facebook ads. Looking at doing other ads. If I can get my head around Google or Twitter or Pinterest or Instagram or whatever, I'll do them all. Like if they, if they sell books, I'll do them. And if they don't, I'll test them on, until they do.
And how much do you say you put aside money-wise for your promos? If you to share that.
Everything I have. So, yeah, I mean, I burn through money fast in my personal life. And so I try to like get a book out before I spend all my money on something else, so that yeah. But yeah, I mean, if I had $1 million, I would call up some company and tell them I have $1 million. I want to spend it on launching a book. Can you help me? But it hasn't happened. I don't have $1 million, but if I did, yeah.
I do see on forums people going, I have $10,000 for advertising. Where should I spend it? And everyone's like, God, invested in editing or something,
No, I'd spend it on ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you're working full time. We already covered. You're doing this, making enough to. Um,
Live
I'm
on.
sorry, my brain just farted. How long did it take you to get to the point where you could sustain yourself when you're writing?
Pretty much about a week after I published my first romance thing, I could see that I could live off of it.
See, was it earning enough when a week, or was it you were seeing a trend upwards, or
Yeah, it was like as soon as I started publishing romance, I pretty much the next day it was like $100, and the day after that it was over $100. I could live on $100 a day back then.
and you're
Yeah.
like, all right, it's time to quit the day job.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 weeks after that, it was $1,000 a day or something. Like that was 2013 or something. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, that was when you could just put up a perma-free short thing and then put up some 10 other parts, and every one of them earned you a lot of money. Yeah, but I never,
Yeah.
ever since I tried a romance name, I haven't worried about money since. Just worried about everything else.
So how does your writing and how you promote, how does it adjust to the changes on the Amazon platform?
Like it completely adjusts. Like I used to, like everything I used to do used to revolve around perma-free.
Hmm.
And it was all serialized, and then perma-free kind of started. I could see I could see instantly free downloads weren't going higher; they were going lower, and I started to look into other things. I switched to writing novel length. You know, that wasn't based on perma-free lead-ins. It's just getting lots of reviews and spending a lot on promotion, and then Kindle, and like I do Kindle Unlimited. Like I've tried pen names going wide, and uh, I prefer it's easier with Kindle Unlimited, and it makes more money. That's what I like, easy and money.
Easy money and reviews. You
And
also like
reviews, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I like praise, money, and ease, and I will do anything for those three
right.
things.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right then. So I'm sorry. That made me happy.
So is
Um,
that what motivates you to keep writing and publishing? Praise, money, and all that? Or is it something
Well, that's
else?
what makes it easy and pleasant. But I wrote for years without making money, and yeah, I like to think if I stopped making money, I'd keep writing.
good. So how did you build your lifestyle in order to, you said you could live off $100 a day. Now that's not little money, but that is not a lot, and especially when you're first starting out. But so have you had to adjust your life to make sure you can maintain it with your proceeds from your writing?
No, but I spend whatever I have. Like I, you know, I've earned $100 a day, and I've earned 100 times that in a day. Either way, I figure out how to spend it all before the next check comes in.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The more money someone earns, the more they manage to spend.
Yes, you are one of us, Chance. You know that. Absolutely one of us.
Like, yeah, I'm not the type of person who won't spend their paycheck when they get it.
Mhm. All right. All right then. let's going back to you and your workflow. Do you type or do you dictate?
I
Because you
type.
don't run at top speed, but how does that work for you?
I type. I can't dictate. I haven't really tried, but I can barely dictate a text message.
Siri is mad at you. You try to talk to her, she's like, nah.
Yeah, I get frustrated. I rather type it out with my big fat fingers than try and get her to understand me.
All right. So you are meticulously outlined. You type somewhere between 5 to 10,000 words a day. You self. Oh, tell me about these. Tell me about these covers. Other than the fact that they're just absolutely beautiful.
I make them on Photoshop.
My goodness. Are these models? Do you hire these guys yourself, or are these stock?
Those are uh, deposit photos, $1 a piece, or Shutterstock or something.
For those of y'all who are not watching me live and you're going to hear me on the podcast, my mouth just dropped. Because if you sit here and look at these covers, they are just impeccably done. These guys are beautiful and pensive and tattooed, and they have the breastplates, and they're very, very good. And you also have drop shadows over your fonts, which means that you're skilled, sir.
I add drop shadows to everything. It
Drop
doesn't
shadows
mean-
are
yeah.
hard,
That means you know how to use a drop shadow.
right?
Well, I don't want to put up a book there without a drop shadow, and a lot of people are going to say I doesn't even know how to put a drop shadow on this book.
The text needs to pop.
Right. So
But
they didn't always look this good. Did you? Is this all self-taught?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
did you?
that's like the first Chance Carter book. I had like 100 covers. I used 99 designs. I got covers. I hired cover designers and got covers. I made covers, and I ended up going with the cover I made, and then I pretty much just use that file now. I just switch out the guy, change the text, and keep my brand, keep the same cover. That book did really well, so there wasn't a problem the first time, so I'm not changing it.
Don't blame me.
Something
As long as you
drastic.
bring it in for some money, right? So, are you thinking long term, as in what's next for Chance?
Yeah,
What's after the storyline?
yeah, but I'm planning to do like 200 more Chance Carter books, and unless something changes in my plan, and then I'll do something else.
Mm-hmm. So, we have the three that we have here. What would make you stop wanting to write these books? Is it just monetary?
No, like if no one read them, I'd write something else.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
So, what's your
it's only
dream
a
project?
smaller.
What is the
Well,
project that
there's
Chance would?
there's loads. There's loads of like. I'd love to try writing something like Game of Thrones. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, every time I watch that show, I'm like, man, how fun would it be to write something like this?
Let me tell you, it's absolutely fun.
Yeah. You write fantasy?
Yes, I write epic magic punk fantasy. And so we have cars and stuff, but it's magic, and there's a looming danger, and there's people fighting and monsters and stuff.
Lots of people killing each other.
Huh?
Lots
Sorry?
of people killing each other. There's got to be lots of deaths.
Oh, there's plenty death. There's a lot of it. I had
What
to
about
create a
incest?
series to accommodate it all. But so, what would it be like? This fantasy series. Have you given any thought to what this project would look like?
I'd love to do the world building, like different cities, different continents, have politics in there, economics, religion,
Mm-hmm.
build up a whole world, and then have some characters in there, and get them to kill each other and fornicate.
Well, in reverse order, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh well, the necrophilia.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. I'm like,
No,
yes,
yeah,
there
like
is.
in the reverse order. Yeah.
No, okay. You have a line.
Yeah. I like my body's warm. I'm just saying.
Takes a while for them to cool down, you realize. But anyway, moving right
I'm
along.
going to. This is me walking past that. Yeah. Oh,
I
there we
have a
go.
question. So, what do you offer your subscribers other than, the next free book? Do they get any other incentives for, praising you?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. If I'm gonna ask them to do something, then I usually create something for them. So I do contests to name characters, or I do like right. I just did a secret story uh, for them, like a short story. So it's like if you reviewed this book, you know, send me a picture of the review, and here's your story. Or if you review the book, you get to enter a contest to name the heroine of the next story, things like that, or the baby. They always they really like the baby. There's a baby. There's going to be a baby in the next story, so the prize is to name the baby, things like that. If I,
Okay.
if I can think of more stuff, I'll offer it. If it's stuff that's easy to deliver via email,
Mhm.
I don't want to
Okay,
go
what
to
did
the
I like so
post
much about
office.
the baby? Is it do you always have that scene where the dude is like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? I'm like, what do they like about the baby?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they like about it. Like I try it from different angles. Like uh, if you if you've tried like some of the paranormal romance, like sort of like making the girl pregnant is like a big part of a lot of the like shifter stories, it seems, and
Mhm.
like a lot of erotica stories. And so I wonder, is it that, or is it just the baby, because the baby's a really beautiful thing. Like it's hard, like because I'm a guy, so I don't know, like you know
I don't
the
know
baby isn't
either.
that important to me in a book, but to like women are like they care more about babies.
Well, yes, we have them.
Yeah. So,
You're
yep,
like, I
I
don't know.
throw
I
them in there.
Throwing the baby.
throw in the baby. The baby doesn't have to have abs, but the guy must have abs.
And if there was something else that I knew they wanted, I would throw it into you know, like billions. Maybe make the guy a billionaire, like
Bad boy billionaire.
yeah, bad
Hmm.
boy billionaire baby.
Right.
What else?
I can see Damian Lewis on the cover of one of your books as the bad boy billionaire dude.
Hmm.
I can see him much more than I can see Paul Giamatti.
Well, the next title will be Bad Boy Billionaire's Baby, so
Unless that title might be taken.
ah,
Oh,
it probably is. Yes.
If it's taken recently, I wouldn't take it. But, if it's 2 or 3 years old, it's fair game.
right.
Yep, that baby's grown up to a toddler. Um,
Yeah, that baby grew up.
yep, need a new baby. Oh dear.
So, is this your entire life? Is writing the entirety of your life? I mean, this is what fills all your hours?
No, it's just part of my life.
How do you balance the two? The part of you that likes to praise and the money, and you have to make that money, and the part of you that spends all that money. How do you
They
balance it?
they just go together very well. They just fit. If it's as soon as you're done making it, it's ready to go spend it. Yeah. I mean, everyone's got to work.
Right.
Yeah,
So, do you spend it on experience or things?
yeah, both.
What's your favorite thing?
I just bought a canoe.
Oh, that's great. I'm a kayaker myself, right?
Yeah.
And so on Saturdays, very early in the morning, you can see me on the South San Gabriel, looking like a sausage who's been put into a little plastic Tupperware tub. and I'm going down to South San Gabriel. And a canoe, that means you do a lot of fishing off of that thing. Well, you can.
Yeah, I don't have a license right now, and there's a river right below this deck, but there's not a lot of fish in it. But yeah, could try. People try fishing in there.
And your favorite experience?
Yeah, traveling.
Hmm.
Yeah, travel a lot
Yeah.
when
What
I
do you think
can.
about these United States as a Canadian?
Uh, it's a great country. It's God's
Yeah.
country.
All right. Oh, this is not an American podcast. You can be truthful.
Well, most of my readers live there, so
That's gotta be nice.
yeah.
All right. Then
I
let me
think
put it this way.
I'm excited to see the election. I mean, excited or interested.
Right.
Like the politics there is a lot more exciting than the politics in Canada. Here we know we're going to get a good guy. Usually, we don't like to leave it up to chance as much as you guys, which makes it less exciting but safer.
Right.
Like a lot of
Like
things
Uh,
in Canada.
your prime minister could be on one of the covers of your books.
Yeah, I've seen some prime minister books coming out lately.
oh yeah, Zoe
I think
York's got one.
Yeah, I was going to
yeah.
say, Zoe York just did one because your prime minister is hot.
Although she recommends not to use the title Prime Minister because that just
Amazon
gets.
Prime. I heard that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking.
Probably can't use unlimited either, I'm guessing.
Probably not. Probably not a good idea. I was just wondering about your fans. So just have do you ever worry or have you actually had any issues with your fans becoming a bit too stalkery or creepy?
No, I don't. I mean, there's a block button on Facebook, uh, which I use
I was just gonna ask.
all the time. It doesn't bother me too. Like, it's just Facebook. Like, I'll block people on there if they bug me. And usually it's not like, guys come onto my page because it's full of women. And as you guys probably know, if there's ever a group of women, it doesn't take long for guys to show up.
Or dick pics.
Yeah. So
That's
I
why
don't
they
get
have
any of
me.
those. But yeah, no, I don't worry. Like, no, it's Facebook. Like, whatever. I mean, there's pages on Facebook with 10, 20, 30 million fans. Like, I would definitely take that and the problems that came with it over the alternative.
Very
So I know
popular.
you don't want to talk about it much because this is your super secret line, but how does the Dirty Secrets short stories differ from your Bad Boys?
It's written in first person, um,
Hmm?
which is special. That's a difference right there. I mean, I've only written the first one. It's like 7 pages long, so
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'm working on the second one now, but I'm not sure where it's going to go. But it doesn't really differ. It's just something else. You only get it by being on my mailing list or being a reviewer of my books. Other than that, it's not that different.
All right then.
If you leave me a
So,
review, I'll send it to you. You can read it. You'll
oh,
see.
believe me, I am because you got all that beefcake. I just can't. I've been staring at that thing for almost 30 minutes now.
I can
Just
just
like,
see your
wow.
review. I bought it so I could just look at the cover forever.
Yes.
Haven't read it yet because it means not looking at the cover.
Right. I'm figuring out a way to set it so I can dual screen looking at the cover and then reading the book, which I know is going to be fine because the guy on the cover is in it. 5 stars.
No, I try because that book, like those books that I send out to my mailing list, they don't go on Amazon, so it's not even like got the same restrictions that Amazon. I could put anything on that cover, so I
Mm.
tried a few
How
anything.
naked are we
But
talking here?
yeah, I tried everything, but then I wouldn't be able to put the cover on Facebook, so I told them to back down.
Oh,
They get you one way. I mean, even
you just put a little icon over it when you put it on
when
Facebook.
it's on Facebook, yeah.
What
And
is
then when I
right?
email it,
That up to my mailing list.
then I just have to worry like, does Mailchimp have a rule about what you can send? But
And then you just say to remove the icon, get the book.
yeah. Yeah. That might be something I try, something like that. People are, yeah. I've seen like one of my friends did a romance book with pictures recently. I presume Amazon doesn't have any rules about the pictures that go inside a book,
That is
but I don't know.
interesting.
As long as it's not the stuff that they say they don't like, which they're vague about.
I would guess maybe if you categorized it as erotica, if they're like mostly or completely naked or in sexual positions or whatever, you should probably get away with it on the inside. It just seems to be the covers they have the
Yeah, I
most
imagine
exception to.
you could probably put a lot. So yeah, I think about things like that. you know, it's just, I mean, like if no one can see it till they buy the book, then how are you going to sell the book? Like,
And it's after the preview.
yeah.
After that 10%.
I wonder if it's right there at the very beginning, on the very first page of the preview, a completely naked picture. Would they have a problem with that? 'Cause that's the content of a book. I don't know. I'm not going to test it.
I'm sure someone will.
Or an alternative version of the cover. I mean, you could write in the blurb, check the preview for an alternative version of the cover, and then they check the preview, and it's a much more explicit version of the cover. That would probably be a good gimmick.
It could be. I know I'd click at least once.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a girl in there, I'd click, see.
Let's take a peek.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder. I don't know. I'm sure if it caught on, then they would crack down.
Mm. And how would that affect pages read? Pages look
I don't know.
Alternative version of
think
the
about
cover on the very last page.
Oh yeah. Click here.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. That's all I came for this book for anymore. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
You shouldn't say all this stuff because people will try it and get more page reads.
And then they'll shut them down.
Yeah. Or they'll shut the wrong people down, more likely.
Yeah. Probably. So, we've got another question from the audience. Do you have any tips for writing a book that will sell?
Well, just the same tips everyone has, like know your market, try, I mean, put as much time as you spend learning how to write, put that much time into learning, what the readers want, and then try to write that, try to put the cover on it, and then try to reach them with it. And if you fail at any one of those three things, you might as well fail at all three. Like, you have to get all three right. Write a good book that they want to read, and then get it to them.
Just out of curiosity, how many pen names have you gone through before settling? Well, before this one, anyway.
4.
4.
3. This is my 4th, so 3 before this.
Okay, so it's not like you went through 42 of them, and then each one of them had a series.
Yeah, I didn't go through too many. Yeah, I went through 4, but some of them put out a lot of stuff. One of them only put out 1 book, but I learned a lot from that one.
What'd you learn?
Well, just like my launch process, I tried it on her first, and she had a really good launch. Like, that book was in, the top 100 with hundreds of reviews. It was like it was the prototype for my Chance Carter launches.
Uh-huh.
But then I just decided that genre wasn't as hot as I thought the way I was writing it, so switched.
All right then.
So you said she. Does that mean you were using a female pen name?
Yeah, for that one, yeah. I mean, like most people recommend you do a female for romance. And they have good reasons. I think like most of the time, all 100 of the top selling, the top 100 authors in romance, usually all 100 of them are female, all 100. So, if you're a big believer in statistics, you'll follow that.
So what do you think you get a better response on, you now writing openly as a man, or when you're writing under a female pen name?
Yeah, they all. I mean, I don't think that's the deciding factor. It's just if you kind of nail your job, if you do your job right, either will work. And it's easier to stand out as a man, but it's also easier to kind of get written off as a man. I mean,
yeah.
Just like anything, like if you try to stand out for anything, you'll get a little bit of attention, but people might also decide not to go for you.
Okay.
It's like if you tried to put all your covers upside down, it would get a lot of attention, but also a lot of people might decide they don't want upside down covers. But you could try that and see, your first book would probably sell more copies because of that one little thing.
I'm sure people are going to go off and do that now too.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of trying to write romance as a man, try putting all your covers upside down on Amazon to get attention.
Well, it would be bucking the trend, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Or just put up a blank as a blank cover, see what happens.
Well, they reckon yellow's trending at the moment, so.
So just like a plain yellow square rectangle, little thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little.
People would buy it, yeah. Marketed it well, people would buy it just because it was a plain yellow dot, But you would only get that one book. That'll be a one book name.
Yeah. Well, we're just about to finish up here. I have one more question. Do you have any others, Krishan?
No, I think I've asked all my questions. What would you like to know, Erica?
I was just wondering, Chance, if you got the chance to write collaboratively with another author, which author would be your dream author to write with?
I would go with the lady who wrote 50 Shades of Grey. What was her name?
E.L. James.
E.L. James. For
Why
purely
is
practical
that?
reason. I think it would be an advantageous choice.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I'm a practical person, and
It's the money
that
again.
would be a practical choice. Actually, if I was going to go for an impractical choice, I would pick Cormac McCarthy. That would be like my genuine desire. Like if I could write a book with him, that would be pretty fun.
That would the Borderlands saga or
Yeah.
that
Or The
post-apocalyptic.
Road, or
Yes.
Blood Meridian. But I would pick E.L. James over him.
Yeah, that is a smart choice, though.
I mean, if I wrote a book with E.L. James, Cormac McCarthy would probably phone me. I wouldn't have to use my wish on him.
Okay.
It's like wishing for more wishes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for your time, Chance, for joining us and letting us ask you random questions.
Thank you for having me.
So, where can people find you on the internet?
Chance Carter Romance on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you want to see what I do on Facebook, you go there and you'll see.
Okay. And also a big thank you to our live listeners and viewers. And you can catch us next week on Sunday, same time, or when we will be, I think we've got Jasmine Walt, fantasy author Jasmine Walt, joining us for the podcast. And for more information about our current guest, please check us out on our site, selfpublishingroundtable.com. And if you want some free romance ebooks, we've got 100 of them going on right now, available for free, and a Kindle giveaway. Just check out the website, selfpublishingroundtable.com, and click on the little banner. And finally, Krishawn, what do you have to say to the internet?
Good night, internet.